New interview. It's so juicy and good. My friend, amazing coach, Paige Cole, is on the show today. I can't wait for you to watch it. I mean, listen to it. And if you want to watch it, you can, because we did a Facebook Live as we recorded. So you can go to my business page, Ashley Gordon, Manifestation Coach on Facebook, and watch the live if you feel like stalking it out even further. No shame in that game. And before we dive in to this episode that's all about manifestation, entrepreneurship, worthiness, and so much more, I want to invite you to a free masterclass that I'm hosting this Wednesday. And if you're listening to this podcast up to date, that's awesome, because you'll know that the masterclass is this week, and it's all about the key to finding your calling. The key, right? We're all here to help other people, but what does that look like and mean for you? And if you're someone who's in network marketing, or you're a coach, or you're a spiritual entrepreneur in general, and you want to clarify your purpose and really know like the soul blueprint calling of why you're here, you're going to want to take this masterclass. Plus, you get to hang out with me for an hour, and it's going to be really fun. So definitely join me. I will link in the show notes. I'll put the link so you can enroll. You must enroll into the masterclass. And there will be a replay emailed to you if you cannot make it live. But if you can, it's always better that way. All right? Have an amazing week. Enjoy today's episode. Welcome to the Badass Manifester podcast. Keeping you inspired with high vibe content, bringing you the best manifestation and mindset tools, teachings, interviews, and answering questions to help empower you to get out of your own way and take massive action to make magic your everyday normal. I'm your host, Ashley Gordon, spiritual life and manifestation coach, helping women and spiritual entrepreneurs manifest more impact, influence, and income. It is my purpose and pleasure to help you wake up to the badass creator that you are. Let's do this. I have the beautiful Paige Cole with me today, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. We're recording this live on Facebook and for the podcast. And I met Paige on Instagram, right? We met on Instagram, and I'm so happy we did, because you're awesome. So let me just introduce her. Paige is an entrepreneurial babe. And she is a master mindset coach, manifestation expert, NLP practitioner, success coach, hypnotherapist, all the things. Co-founder of Entrepreneur Babe, which she's going to tell you guys about. She is here to improve entrepreneurial babes and their online businesses through spiritual practices, principles, mindset, manifestation, and really learning how to hone in on the energy that you're putting out into the world. So I'm so happy that you're here. And she really lives, leads, and coaches through the principles of unwavering self-belief and confidence. And she really believes that everyone has untapped potential that's waiting to be unleashed. And she's going to talk about that a little bit with us today, or a lot with us today. And so I'm so happy you're here. Hi.
Yeah. So happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Yes. I was on Paige's podcast. If you haven't checked it out yet, it's called The Paige Cole Show. So definitely check that out.
Yep. It's episode 11.
Angel numbers.
Yes.
So Paige, share with us a little bit about your story, how you got into online business, and what sparks your passion so much for helping entrepreneurial babes really manifest their businesses.
Yeah. So I have always been entrepreneurial since a very young age. When I was 16, I lived with my aunt, and she started doing a network marketing company. And it was the first time I had really kind of experienced something different than like a corporate 9-to-5. Like, I grew up, my mom worked 9-to-5. So that's kind of like all I knew. And then living with her, I kind of experienced, wow, like you can be your own boss and you can make your own hours and make way more money than like a salary cap. And I just, at 16, I was so fascinated. And I've always been super fascinated and curious about money and how money works and how to make more of it. So it really like expanded my mind into my entrepreneurial like endeavors. And on my 18th birthday, I signed up to do the network marketing company with her, like literally on my birthday.
Whoa.
You have to be 18 to do it because it's your own business, you know? So I signed up to do that. I did that for a few years. When I was younger, when I was like 19 or 20, I opened a bikini coffee stand with my friend, actually. It was like a drive-through.
That is so cool.
I know. It's called Sneak a Peek Espresso.
You're good at making up names for things. That's amazing.
I know. I named that one too.
That's so cool.
Anyway, so I did that. And then I had a surf, a fitness studio. It was like, I saw this thing on Shark Tank for like surf set fitness stuff. So did that. I dabbled in real estate a little bit. I dabbled in insurance. But what led me to start my online business is I actually went on a trip to Ireland and London, and I fell in love with traveling, like in love. And I was like, I got home and I was like, I got to figure out, I know all these people making all this money online and you can just take your computer anywhere and work. And I thought it was so amazing. And I just literally started just like studying and learning and like watching YouTube videos and researching and trying to figure out how the heck can I make money online? Like, I know I can figure it out. And then like one thing led to another. And I just fell in love with online course creation and teaching people. And I've always been very spiritual and very into the law of attraction and manifestation. And I've studied that for years. And so it kind of just aligned rather, all like perfectly, honestly, because I've always been someone who my whole life, ever since I was even little girl in like dance class, like I learned the choreography and then I can teach it right away. Like, so information, I can bring it in and absorb it and then teach it. And I've always been very talented at that. So I kind of just like put everything together into my online business. And that's how I got to doing what I'm doing. And I love it so much. And I'm so grateful and thankful every day that I'm doing what I'm doing right now.
Oh my God. I couldn't have said it better. Like, I feel the same way. I'm so grateful as well. And I think it's really cool how like all those pieces came together, you know, and you were like, I can figure this out. I can do this. You have that unwavering faith in yourself, which I think a lot of people struggle with within themselves. So let me ask you, because I have to ask everyone that comes on Badass Manifestor podcast, what makes you Badass Manifestor?
Well, I'm a badass bitch in general. I believe it.
Yeah, you are.
You gotta believe that about yourself, man. You just gotta, But what makes me a badass manifestor is I am, I'll give a story about how much of a magnet badass manifestor I am. I dabbled in real estate, and my very first open house, and you did real estate a little bit,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Okay. So my very first week, I hung my license at my broker. I said, I'll do an open house. I go to my open house and I have no idea what the heck I'm doing. The first lady that walks in the house, first open house, says, I'd like to buy this house. And I said, are you working with someone? She said, no. And I said, can I be your real estate agent? She said, okay. Like, I literally drew that in. Like, what are the odds? Your first open house to first person. It didn't end up going through. We lost an all cash offer. However, that was just, I am such a magnet. That is why I'm a badass manifestor.
Amen, sister. Seriously, I love that energy about you too. It's like you expect it.
Yeah.
You expect it. And it comes from a place of not needing it. It seems like to me, like when you don't need it, it just happens.
Yeah. But I believed in myself and I took action. I was like, yeah. I'll do this open house. Sure. Like, take me. And I just, was there with a pure heart and pure intentions of like, let me figure this out, and boom.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good. I love it. And like owning the fact that you're magnetic, because we all are. We all are. That's like one way that I manifest. And I don't know if you do this, but if you do, it'd be so cool. But like, I literally will like stand in the shower or wherever I am, and I'll be like, I'm a magnet. And I feel that pull. I feel the pull. Do you ever do that?
I don't. I will now. I sure will now. However, I don't think that. I literally just think like, I'm about to manifest the fuck out of this.
Yes.
That's what I tell myself.
That's a trick.
Yes. And then I do.
So good. And I love what you said about online business. There's so many people that have no idea about online business and how how amazing it is and how unlimited it is and how there's just so much opportunity and there's enough space for everyone because there's just so many people in the world and the universe is so abundant.
So abundant. There are, I was thinking, that's so interesting to say that because I was thinking about that. It was actually when I was at the hypnosis training, and it was a thought that came into my head when everyone was getting their certs at the end, and it's just sets of 5 were walking up, and I just had this thought like, gosh, like, if there's so many, because they're from all different walks of life, you know, right. And they're from everywhere, and I'm like, there's so many people. And if you want to have a successful business, you're going to touch a lot of people, you know, but like if you have a high program or like coaching or something like that, it's not that difficult. Like there's like so many people out there. And with online business, it's like there, you know, on your Facebook group and in Facebook groups and with a podcast and stuff, like your reach, like people I connected with someone in Australia and there's people in the UK and someone just joined my Facebook group from Finland. Like it's just, I couldn't do that doing insurance in San Diego. Like that wouldn't, my impact wouldn't have been like what it will be or the potential. So I think the online world is so cool to me.
It is so, so, so cool. How did you first find out about online business?
Well, how I first found out about it because I made the decision that I was going to create an online business for myself because right. I wanted to travel. So when I started researching, like I literally came home from my trip and I would wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and be on my computer till like 2 o'clock in the morning. Like I was obsessed. And I was like YouTubing like how to make money online. And then I like watch all these videos and I found this like Amazon, like private labeling stuff. And I actually private label and have a couple products on Amazon that I like dabbled in that too.
Cool.
I'm like a ready, fire, aim kind of girl.
Me too.
But yeah, no, and then I found like the course creation and online courses and then like, you know, like the Amy Porterfields and the Jenna Kutchers and I started like kind of learning from them and listening to their podcasts, which Amy Porterfields is like all about online marketing and stuff. And I just really just dug into like taking ownership for my own knowledge and for my own path and just educating myself.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. It's interesting because it really was never a thought in my mind ever. I didn't even know about it until one of my friends who is she's amazing at content, local girl. She was like, did you ever think about creating a digital course? And I was like, what is that? I have no idea what that is. And then I led a vision board workshop at next door to my yoga studio. And these guys were like, oh, I follow this girl, Manifestation Babe. You should check her out. You guys like manifestation. And I'm like, okay. So I checked her out. And then she was having a course on course creation. And I was like, okay, well, all this is coming up. I guess I'll just check it out. That was it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah, aren't you so glad that you did? I'm glad you did.
Thank you, universe. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Totally cool. Yes. So what makes you, what are you most passionate about teaching in your business?
I'm most passionate about teaching about money manifestation. And I really kind of was doing a lot of soul searching about this and about kind of maybe even giving myself permission to talk about it and to teach about it. But I was thinking about it the other day and literally any of my friends, my parents, anyone who knows me from the time I was a little girl, I have always been curious and fascinated about money. And I've always been asked like, how much money do you make? Like, how much money does this cost? Like always. And it was never ever from a place of judgment. And I know in society, people are like, that's rude to talk about money. And I know that there's a lot of stuff, but I think when that happens, there's a lot of like misconceptions that happen with money and a lot of weird money programs that come up because it's like a hush hush kind of a thing. And since I was young, I always loved talking about it and asking, and I never came from a place of judging, like wanting to know how much money you made or had or anything to think you are less of a person or better of a person. It was coming from a place of knowledge. Like I'm huge on knowledge and education and learning. And the more you know, the more tools in your belt, in your tool belt. And so this has just always been fascinating. I also believe and know that money is a tool for good. And the more people, women entrepreneurs especially, who can learn and understand and master their like relationship with money for themselves, think about how much of an impact that's going to make on the world. because you can do so many good things with money. It's just like the whole money is a tool. It's just like a knife is a tool, you know, like you can cook your meal for your family and feed your family with this knife, or you could kill and harm someone with the knife. And it wasn't the knife, it was how the knife was used as a tool. So I think the more that message can get out and like grasped, I think like if you understand that and you don't want to manifest more money in your life, like you're doing a disservice to the people you serve and to the world, because money is beautiful. That's what I feel.
It is. That's so amazingly said. I love the like whole knife analogy of being able to like feed your family or hurt yourself. I mean, it's just, it's so true. And I love the way you talk about money because you normalize it.
Yeah.
You know, you don't put it on a pedestal. It's not like, and this is getting more and more clear for me as I grow as an entrepreneur and I'm making more money than I ever have in my whole life and just like receiving more. I mean, it is literally energy. It is literally, and it is not separate from me. It is not separate from you. I'm energy, money's energy. Your energy, money's energy. It's not different.
No.
So what do you think, what do you think people struggle with the most about manifesting money?
Oh, okay. So I think that the thing that people struggle most about manifesting money comes from a internal, a self-worth and value issue, because as you just said, money is an exchange of energy. It is an exchange of energy for a perceived value. And I say perceived because what you value $1 is going to be different than what I value $1. And if you have a higher intrinsic value and you see your value and your self-worth to be on this level and maybe someone doesn't, like that's where they struggle, because there can be two people literally doing the same exact service, like photographers, for example, same exact amount of hours, same exact amount of copies and edits and all this stuff, but one's charging $10,000 and one's charging $500, and the $500 person's getting the $500 and the $10,000 person is getting it because they believe in themselves, they see their worth, they see their value, and they believe it's an equal exchange of energy and value. And so when it comes to manifesting money, like if you look at people and you think like, well, what do they have that I don't have? And it's like, well, they don't have anything that you don't have. They've just done the internal work to raise their intrinsic value, to believe in themselves, to love themselves, to value themselves more. So yeah.
So good. We are very, very aligned, because I was just saying to one of my clients recently, like yesterday, there is no difference between me and you. There is no difference between someone that's making a lot of money and someone that's not. There is no difference between someone that's meeting their soulmate and not meeting their soulmate. They're the same energy of right? But the only difference is that they just don't believe it's possible. It's a limitation that you place upon yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Like, especially with rules, with money, like people literally, if you think about it, you are the only person who creates rules, because if you think, well, I can't have that, poof, your wish is my command. And if you think, yes, I can have that, guess what? You're going to get it. Poof, your wish is my command. Like, that's just how it works. But what you were exactly about, like no one's better than another person. That reminds me of my favorite commercial of all time. And it was from the 2012 Nike, or 2012 Summer Olympics. And it was a Nike commercial. And I have a link to it somewhere on one of my things, but it's like this chubby kid and he's like running down the street and you just hear him, his heavy breathing, because he's very overweight, but he's fucking trying, man. He's like jogging, you know, and it's just like this beautiful thing. And it just says like, it talks about like greatness. It's not reserved for the few and stuff. It's like the most beautiful. I don't know why I just went on that tangent, but I'll have to send it to you and you'll have to watch it. It's like a minute commercial and it's so beautiful and I love it. And it just reminds me of that, about how we are all, greatness is within every single one of us. Like you just have to accept it and own it.
Yes. So what do you say to the woman who is not owning her greatness, not owning her power, not accepting herself?
Like, why?
Like, why?
Why? Like, what's going on for you? Like, who told you that? Like, when did you decide that for yourself?
That's it. That's the question.
And when did you decide that for yourself? And then they're like, oh, it's like, and are you ready to decide something differently? I think it's just a matter of educating too, is because it's like, it's when sometimes like things click in people's heads and it's like, oh, like a belief is just a thought that we think over and over with enough conviction and enough passion that we believe it to be true. So if you choose your beliefs, then you can choose to believe something different if something's not serving you. But a lot of times people literally don't even realize that they choose their beliefs, you know, and the beliefs are given to us, not given, whatever, like taken on from when we're like little. So a lot of times we pick up the beliefs of our parents or the people who are around us. And when you kind of like identify that, it's a very like empowering thing. But one example a little story that I like to tell is kind of funny about beliefs is they're not all bad things, right? So we can have beliefs that are ingrained in our heads that are very serving. And when I was growing up, my dad would always be like, Paige, like, look athletic, be athletic. Like he was super into football and all this stuff. So, and I think he really wanted a son, obviously, but he was like, Paige, look athletic. Like he would drill that into my head. So not only was I so aware of my, the way that I carried my body when I was like moving, like athletically, but athletes are also what? Motivated, determined, dedicated, disciplined. It was like a whole lifestyle of being an athlete that really like formed my like competitiveness, my discipline, my like drive, my like energy. And I was telling him about this story and he was like, Paige, I don't even remember telling you to look like an athlete. And it had such a profound impact on me. And it's so funny. Like, yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. How, like that, the smallest thing to someone else could be the biggest thing to someone else.
Yeah, like my dad literally didn't even remember saying this to me. He says it now as like a joke, like look athletic, Paige, but he didn't remember. Yeah.
Wow. What money beliefs were you raised with?
What money beliefs?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So my mom was very conservative and she didn't like to talk about money. And then she had this daughter over here, like, Mom, how much money do you make? How much does our house cost? How much does this cost? Like always. And she's like, Paige, like she would get so irritated. And I was raised with the belief that like you like work hard for money. You don't have to like kill yourself for money. But I always just had money. So I always just like believed that I was allowed to have money. But, you know, my mom had a certain, like, we were like middle class, whatever, but like, I always kind of wondered like, well, why do they have more money and we don't? And I didn't really understand until I started getting older and I moved in with my aunt about like the entrepreneurial kind of endeavors about like, and just learning more about money.
Yeah. So do you think because your mom was like, when your mom was conservative, did that affect you at all or it just made you more curious?
Yeah, it made me more curious, to be honest. I remember we would like
it did.
Yeah, we would like go to Target and we would like, you know, buy the things that we needed to buy. And my mom would like be like, oh, that cost whatever it was. I don't know. She'd be like, oh, that cost $200. And she would, and I would be like, oh, sorry. And she'd be like, no, I just want you to be aware. So it was kind of like always like this, like weird, like I don't even know how to describe it. Like you have to be responsible for it, but like, oh, like I'm spending money, like a worried, like I'm worried when I'm spending money instead of like I'm abundant and money comes easily and frequently and stuff. Right. So yeah. Worrisome for sure.
Huh. It's so interesting to think about because I was trying to think back and like what was I programmed with and really understand it. And I mean, the only thing that came up was like, we're not rich, we're not poor. We always have enough. Like we have enough. And that was like the same story over and over and over again ingrained in my mind. So it's like, okay, I'm always just going to have enough.
But what is enough?
Right. Exactly. But what even is enough?
What even is enough?
Yeah, totally. It's so interesting to think about that stuff and really understand and dive into like, why do you even have the beliefs that you have about money right now? Mm-hmm. What would you say to someone who is really wanting to create more success in their life to like shift out of scarcity mindset? Like what's a tool to give them to shift out of that?
Well, I would, the first thing that I would say is if you're trying to shift from scarcity to an abundance mindset, you have to stop focusing on the lack and you have to stop focusing and obsessing on the scarcity about, I don't have enough. Where's the money coming from? Gosh, I have so much debt. Oh my gosh, my bills are due. Like you can't focus on that. You can't put your energy there. you have to shift your focus to a state of abundance and to thinking of what you want to create and how it's going to feel when you have all of the money and the resources and the finances to feel, abundant and to feel wealthy or whatever that means to you. And if you don't know how to feel that feeling right now, then what my recommendation would be to make a list of 10 things that you're grateful for. And regardless if it has to do with money or not, are you grateful for your eyelashes and your fingernails? Put those on there if that's going to serve you. But just focus on what you're grateful for and just get yourself in a state of feeling good, because, manifestation is a fun, playful energy. And especially with dealing with money, we always want to be in a good state of mind. When I do my money or pay my bills, I put music on. I say, thank you for my bills. When I pay rent, thank you for this house that I live in, this warm, Chicago's freezing cold right now. This I'm sure it's cold where you are too. This warm, beautiful, safe house. Thank you for it. So just always come from a place of gratitude. Absolutely.
You're in LA now though, right?
Yeah, I'm in San Diego.
Okay, you're in San Diego. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I love that. And I think that that's something that is such an important aspect too, of recognizing that your bills, you're complaining about things that are supporting you to live. You're complaining about things that are supporting you to be healthy, or supporting you to have a roof over your head, or supporting you even to have a job. When people complain about paying taxes, it's you have a job that makes you a lot of money. That's why you pay taxes.
Yeah. Or your phone bill. Think about how much we do on our phones and how many times a day, and your phone bill is so minimal.
Yeah.
It's gosh, thank you so much for this amazing service that was just provided to me, and just focus on the what you're getting out of it.
Yeah, I love that. Such a shift. A shift.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about you're creating another brand in addition to your brand, right? Or is it merging? What's happening?
Yeah. So, well, they're separate. They are separate. I mean, I am a co-founder of it. It's called Entrepreneur Babe, and it's with one of my best friends and business partner, Kale Roberts. And we're both super huge on mindset and stuff, because we believe that, you first have to master your mind and then you can master any area of your life. But Entrepreneur Babe, we're both super entrepreneurial from very young ages. And it's going to be a brand or a company more for strategic, implementable, step-by-step, how to grow and scale your online business. If you're a 3, 4, 5-figure online entrepreneur and you want to scale to 6 figures and above, specifically through creating online courses, that's what we're going to be coaching about. So we're going to teach you how to do online courses, how to do online marketing, podcasting, Instagram. So it's going to be a lot more, what's the word?
Step by step.
Yeah, more step-by-step guided, I want to start a business. This is how I do it, instead of more of a spiritual and emotional and mental kind of stuff. So it's going to be a black and white, here's, that kind of stuff.
Got you. Cool. That's really cool.
More meaty.
Yeah. And I think that's so needed, because, a lot of people are how do I start an online business? What do I do? What are the steps? And, for everyone, it's different, but there are some pieces that need to be put in place for you to be able to kind of put yourself out there. So I think that's awesome. What would you say is one of the best pieces of advice you would give to someone who's wanting to start their online business right now, or any business?
Yeah. So I think that the very first and foremost thing would be to figure out for yourself why it is that you're going into business, and you literally for yourself, not because you think it's what your parents want you to do, or because your spouse wants you to do it, or society wants you to do it. Because when you come up to a roadblock, which you will as an entrepreneur come up to lots of roadblocks, if you understand what it is that why you're wanting to do this, you're not going to stop. You're going to be unstoppable. And no matter what comes up, you're not going to see it as a roadblock or a struggle. You're going to see it as a learning opportunity to learn a lesson, to grow from it, to attain new skills, and then to move forward. And I've even done that in my own life. The other things the other entrepreneurial endeavors I was talking about, I did it because I thought, it's going to make me a lot of money, or my parents wanted me to do it or something. And so I wasn't really that committed to it, but not, you just figure out what it is that you want to do. And then also really like do the work on yourself, like internally, because if you're right in your mind, like literally you will come up to every single day and every single task and challenge with like such a different mindset and vibe and energy, and things will just shift and your life's just going to work so much easier and quicker for you.
Wow, that blew me away, your answer, because it's so true. Like starting with knowing why you want to do what you're doing is so beyond important. And believe me, I've been there. I had a yoga clothing line that I started with my best friend, and that was before I did any of this. And it wasn't what I was most passionate about. My why behind it was to like be seen by other people. My why behind it wasn't pure intention. It wasn't like, I wasn't obsessed with it. I almost wanted to just like hide behind it and be like, I have this, you know what I mean? It didn't motivate me like my business motivates me. And if you are listening or watching and you are feeling like that lack of motivation, if you're starting something or you're feeling uninspired, really dig into why you do what you do, because I think that'll give you the answer. And if your why that isn't enough to drive you home, like drive it home, like you said, you know, it's either going to stop you or it's going to make you unstoppable. And like, I love that. It's so telling to know, you know, when you're connected to your why, that's what's going to make the difference in you going all the way, or going like a quarter of a mile.
Yeah. And also, if you're doing something and there's different drivers for everyone, right? Like a cause is a driver, recognition is a cause, money is a cause. If you want to make money, that's okay. Like, don't judge yourself for it. Like, if you're like, I want to make a lot of money, like own it. Like, that is totally freaking fine. Like, if you want to do it to make a lot of money, good on you. Like, I feel like a lot of people, and especially as women, a lot of times they you know, the programs come up, they think like, oh, like, whatever, I don't want to make money. No, like, own that, man.
Own it. Like, not only do I want to make a lot of money, I want to help a lot of people. And the more money I make, the more people I can help.
Yes. And the more people you help, the more dollars come into your bank account. It is just how it works.
Amen. Yeah. Amen.
Yeah.
So is there any last few nuggets of wisdom that you want to leave with our audience today?
Ooh, a last nugget. Such a hot seat moment.
It won't be the last nugget because Paige will be back on the show, so it won't be the last nugget.
Yes, I will. I will. But let's see. I think that if I could leave you, if you're listening and I could leave you with something, it would be that, you know, life is short, and at the end of the day, it's your job to make sure that you feel happy, and your happiness should never be dependent on people, on situations, on circumstances, on material items. It really comes from like just an internal joy. And when you kind of like take ownership for that and just really focus every day on like being happy and finding the joy in life, like literally everything will come into place. Your business will come, any entrepreneurial endeavor, the money, the relationship. So if you can focus on one thing today, is just like focus on what makes you feel good and just stay there. Like just dwell in that and just feel really good.
I love that. It's so beautiful and so true. And I just wish that everyone could really get that. Like really, you might need to rewind that 30 seconds because listen to it again and again until you really get it. Because what she's saying is you want the secret to manifesting. I'm not going to cry. It's like I'm very emotional. Like you want the secret to manifesting everything you want. It's that. Yeah. That's it. Like there's no manifestation business. Like that is it. Like that's literally it. Like you don't, that's it.
Yeah. Just feel good. And then it comes.
And it will all happen.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here. Where can everyone connect with you?
Well, I'm on Instagram, and that's where we met. So it's at the.paige, paige.cole. Also, my website is paigecole.com, and I'm on Facebook. I have a Facebook group. It's called Boss Babe Manifestors. And yeah, you can find me. Oh, I also have a podcast. It's called The Paige Cole Show. I just hit 1,000 downloads. I'm like really proud of it.
So I'm celebrating you.
So yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. And you're on the podcast. We said that earlier. So
yes, everyone
got that episode. It's fire episode.
Yes, it's so good. It's so good. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm so excited for everything that you're creating, everything that you're sharing with the world. Your message is so powerful and so clear. So thank you so much for being here. Such a good time with Paige. Definitely go check her out. And this is your reminder to tag us on Instagram and sign up for the free masterclass. I cannot wait for Wednesday night. It's going to be so much fun. Thank you so much for listening to the Badass Manifestor podcast. I love manifesting Mondays with you, and there's so much more in store right here. The best way to manifest love is to give love. If you loved what you heard today, subscribe to the Badass Manifestor podcast. Leave a review on iTunes. Let me know how much you dig the energy here. All of my social is linked up in the show notes, so screenshot this episode, tag me on Instagram, and let me be part of your real-time journey. For more info on me, feel free to go to my website, manifestwithash.com. Repeat after me. I am my own power source. I am the master of my energy, and I deserve everything that I desire. Go get them.